Hey everyone, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today, we're counting down the top 15 best Nintendo Switch games of all time. These aren't just great games, these are the absolute must-play experiences that define what makes the Switch such an incredible console. Let's get into it. Pikmin 4 is the most polished and accessible entry in this strategy series. And honestly, it's where you should start if you've never played Pikmin before. You're part of a rescue team searching for castaways on a mysterious planet, and you command these little plant creatures called Pikmin to fight enemies, solve puzzles, and carry objects back to your base. Each Pikmin type has different abilities. Red ones are fireproof, blue ones can breathe underwater, and the new ice Pikmin can freeze enemies and water. The big game changer is Ochi, your space dog companion, who can carry Pikmin, break down walls, and even let you ride him across water. The gameplay loop is incredibly satisfying. You're constantly planning your next move, splitting your Pikmin squads to multitask, and racing against the day-night cycle. Night expeditions add this tense tower defense element, where you protect glowing objects from waves of enemies. I found myself completely absorbed in optimizing my strategies and finding all the collectibles hidden throughout the beautifully designed environments. Kirby and the Forgotten Land took the pink puffball into full 3D for the first time, and it absolutely nailed it. The story has Kirby exploring a post-apocalyptic world called the Forgotten Land to rescue Waddle Dees kidnapped by the Beast Pack. You still inhale enemies to copy their abilities, but now you can upgrade each ability into more powerful forms, like turning the basic sword into a giant energy blade, or upgrading the fire ability to shoot volcanic eruptions. The mouthful mode is wild. Kirby stretches his mouth around large objects like cars, vending machines, or even traffic cones to gain unique abilities. The level design is fantastic, with tons of hidden Waddle Dees to rescue and optional challenges that test your mastery of each ability. I loved how the game starts easy enough for younger players, but ramps up significantly in the post-game with treasure road challenges that demand perfect execution. The co-op mode lets a second player join as Bandana Waddle Dee, making it perfect for playing with family or friends who might not be as experienced with games. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. This remake of the Game Boy Classic is absolutely gorgeous with its toy-like art style that makes the whole world look like a living diorama. Link washes up on Koholint Island after a storm and needs to wake the Windfish to escape, but there's this melancholic undertone to everything because the island's inhabitants don't know the truth about their existence. The gameplay is pure classic Zelda. You explore dungeons, solve puzzles, collect items that let you access new areas, and piece together what's really going on. The dungeon design is brilliant, especially since you can now place rooms in custom arrangements to create your own challenges. Combat is simple but satisfying, with your sword, shield, and growing arsenal of tools like bombs, the hookshot, and the iconic Rock's Feather for jumping. I appreciated how the game respects the original while adding quality-of-life improvements like more item slots and streamlined menu navigation. The Chamber Dungeons mode lets you arrange dungeon rooms like puzzle pieces to create and share custom dungeons, adding replay value beyond the main story. Pokémon Legends Arceus completely reinvented the Pokémon formula, and it's the most fun I've had with the series in years. You're sent back to ancient Sinnoh, called Hisui, when people were terrified of Pokémon and the concept of trainers didn't exist yet. Your job is to create the region's first Pokédex by studying Pokémon in the wild. The big change is you can catch Pokémon without battling them by sneaking through tall grass and throwing Pokéballs in real time, though you can still battle to weaken them first. The combat system got overhauled with a turn order bar and move styles. You can use moves in strong style for more damage but slower speed, or agile style for less damage but more turns. Each area is like an open zone filled with Pokémon roaming naturally, and you complete research tasks by observing their behaviors, catching multiples, or defeating them with specific move types.
I spent hours just exploring, finding alpha Pokémon, these huge, aggressive versions that hit like trucks, and hunting for shiny variants. The boss battles against noble Pokémon, frenzied by strange energy, mix dodging and throwing special bombs with traditional Pokémon battles in this unique action sequence.
Super Mario Party Jamboree is the best Mario Party game in over a decade, bringing back everything that made the series great while adding new ideas that actually work. You're competing with friends or CPUs across various boards, rolling dice to move and collecting stars while playing minigames after every round. The game includes 7 boards, 5 brand new ones, and 2 remastered classics from the N64 era. Each board has unique gimmicks, like the rhythm-based Roll 'em Raceway or the item-focused Rainbow Galleria. The minigame collection is massive, with over 110 games spanning every Mario Party title, and the quality is consistently high, with great variety between skill-based challenges, luck games, and strategic competitions. I really enjoyed the new Cool Pathlon mode, where up to 20 players race online simultaneously, playing minigames to determine movement in this chaotic marathon. Bowser Kaboom Squad has you cooperating with other players to stop Bowser's mech in this surprisingly strategic boss battle mode. The motion control minigames work well, and you can disable them if you prefer traditional controls, which I appreciate for handheld play. Fire Emblem Three Houses completely consumed me for over 100 hours, and I immediately started a second playthrough to see the other story routes. You're a mercenary who becomes a professor at the Officers' Academy in Garreg Monastery, choosing to lead one of 3 houses, the Black Eagles, Blue Lions, or Golden Deer. Each house has different students with unique personalities, abilities, and storylines that dramatically diverge in the second half based on your choice. The tactical combat is the series' best. You position units on grid-based maps, exploit weapon triangles and enemy weaknesses, and watch your students grow from inexperienced nobles into legendary warriors. Between battles, you explore the monastery, build relationships with students and faculty through support conversations, and teach your class by training their weapon skills and abilities. The calendar system creates meaningful choices about how to spend your limited free time. Do you train combat skills, build relationships, or complete side quests? I loved customizing each student's class path, turning them into whatever role my army needed. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. This remake of the GameCube classic proves why Thousand Year Door is considered the best Paper Mario game. Mario searches for the crystal stars to open the Thousand Year Door, while Princess Peach gets kidnapped by the alien X-Nauts, who want to revive an ancient demon. The turn-based combat uses timed button presses for attacks and defense, nail the timing, and you deal extra damage or take less, adding this skill element to RPG battles. Your party members are incredibly charming characters like Goombella, the archaeology student, Koops, the timid Koopa, and Vivian, who joins your side despite being one of the villains. The badge system lets you customize Mario's abilities, equipping moves that consume limited badge points, so you're constantly deciding between powerful attacks, defensive options, or utility skills. I love how the game constantly breaks the fourth wall and plays with the paper aesthetic. Mario can fold into a paper airplane, roll into a tube, or turn sideways to slip through cracks. The writing is legitimately funny, with great character dialogue and absurd situations that kept me laughing throughout the adventure. Luigi's Mansion 3 perfectly captures that Ghostbusters fantasy, while showing Luigi's growth from a scared rookie to a confident hero. Luigi and friends get invited to a luxury hotel that turns out to be a trap set by King Boo. Everyone except Luigi gets captured in paintings, and he has to ascend the haunted hotel's themed floors to rescue them. Each floor is drastically different, with unique ghost types and puzzles. You'll explore a pirate ship, a medieval castle, a film studio, and more. The Poltergust G00 vacuum has new abilities, like slam attacks, where you repeatedly smash ghosts into the ground, and the suction shot that lets you tear away shields and parts of the environment. Luigi, your gooey doppelganger, can squeeze through bars and spikes to access areas Luigi can't reach, creating puzzles where you constantly switch between both characters. Boss fights against each floor's themed ghost are creative set pieces that require you to use your full toolkit. The environmental destruction is incredibly satisfying. You can vacuum up almost everything, discovering coins and secrets hidden in furniture, plants, and decorations. Metroid Dread had my heart racing constantly, with its mix of exploration and genuine tension. Samus investigates planet ZDR after receiving footage suggesting the dangerous X-parasites survived. But she's attacked by a mysterious Chozo warrior who steals her abilities and traps her deep underground. You navigate through interconnected areas in classic Metroidvania style, gradually unlocking abilities like the Morph Ball, Grapple Beam, and new powers like the Flash Shift Dodge and Storm Missiles. The EMMI sections create these terrifying cat and mouse chases. These nearly invincible robots patrol specific zones, and if they spot you, you have to run and hide, because direct combat is impossible until you find temporary power-ups to destroy them. The movement feels incredible. Samus is faster and more agile than ever, with the ability to slide under gaps, wall jump, and dash melee through enemies without breaking momentum. Boss fights are intense skill checks that demand you learn attack patterns and counter at precise moments. The 60 frames per second frame rate makes everything feel smooth, whether you're speedrunning through areas or carefully exploring for missile expansions and energy tanks. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the most emotionally devastating and mechanically deep JRPG I've played on Switch. The story follows 6 soldiers from 2 warring nations, Kevs and Agnes, who discover they're all being manipulated and have limited lifespans of only 10 years. When they're forced together and become the target of both armies, they uncover the truth about their world and fight to break the endless cycle of conflict. The real-time combat system is complex, but incredibly rewarding once it clicks. You control one character, while AI handles the others, chaining together arts, special moves, building up to powerful fusion arts, and timing chain attacks to deal massive damage. The class system lets any character learn abilities from any class, so you can customize your entire party to complement each other perfectly. What really got me was the Ouroboros system, where pairs of characters fuse into powerful transformations with unique movesets and abilities. The world is absolutely massive, with breathtaking environments to explore and hundreds of side quests that actually develop the characters and expand the lore.
Every day's a training day.
Astral Chain is an action game from Platinum Games, where you play as a rookie officer in Neuron, a special police force protecting humanity's last city from interdimensional invaders called Chimeras. The core mechanic is controlling both your character and a legion simultaneously. These are captured Chimeras bound to you with an energy chain. You've got 5 different legions to unlock, each with unique combat styles, like the sword-wielding Blade Legion or the ranged Arrow Legion. Combat feels incredible because you're essentially fighting with 2 characters at once, wrapping the chain around enemies to bind them, positioning your legion for combo attacks, and switching between them mid-battle. Between missions, you investigate crime scenes using Legion abilities to find clues and question witnesses. The story follows twin siblings working together to uncover conspiracies within the city while dealing with a dimensional collapse. The game runs smooth in both docked and handheld mode, with a gorgeous anime art style that pops on the Switch screen.
Let's get him!
Metroid Prime Remastered brings the GameCube masterpiece to Switch with completely overhauled visuals and modernized controls. You're Samus Aran, investigating a distress signal on planet Talon 4, which has been corrupted by a radioactive substance called Phazon. This is a first-person adventure where exploration and combat blend together. You'll scan enemies and environments to learn their weaknesses and uncover the planet's tragic history. The game is built around gaining new abilities, like the Morph Ball, missiles, and various beam weapons that open up previously inaccessible areas, creating this satisfying loop of revisiting locations with new tools. Combat requires switching between different beams, depending on enemy types, while managing your limited missile supply. The atmosphere is incredible, with isolated alien environments, haunting music, and environmental storytelling through scan logs. Boss fights are pattern-based encounters that test your ability to identify weaknesses and execute under pressure. Everything runs at a locked 60 frames per second, which makes the already tight controls feel even better, and the remaster adds dual-stick aiming alongside motion controls for those who prefer gyro aiming. Tears of the Kingdom takes place after Breath of the Wild, with Link and Zelda discovering an ancient evil beneath Hyrule Castle that breaks free and causes the castle to rise into the sky. Link loses his arm, but gains new abilities from a mysterious ancient being. Ultra Hand lets you grab and combine objects to build vehicles and contraptions. Fuse merges weapons with materials to create stronger gear. Ascend lets you phase through ceilings, and Recall reverses object movement through time. The game expands Hyrule vertically, with floating sky islands above and a massive underground depths area below the surface, essentially tripling the world size. The building mechanics are genius because puzzles have multiple solutions depending on what you construct, whether that's a bridge, a flying machine, or a weaponized vehicle. Combat still has weapon durability, but Fuse makes it more manageable by letting you attach monster parts or objects to weapons for extra damage and effects. The story involves finding Zelda, who's disappeared, and uncovering what happened in Hyrule's ancient past through memory sequences. It takes everything great about Breath of the Wild and adds layers of creative freedom that make it feel like a true sequel rather than just more content. Super Mario Odyssey is a 3D platformer where Mario chases Bowser across multiple kingdoms, trying to stop him from forcing Peach into marriage. The game's hook is Cappy, Mario's hat that's possessed by a spirit whose sister was also kidnapped by Bowser. Throwing Cappy lets you capture enemies and objects, taking control of them and using their abilities. You can become a T-Rex to smash through barriers, possess a Bullet Bill to fly across gaps, or even capture enemies, like Goombas, to stack them up and reach high places. Each kingdom is a massive sandbox filled with power moons to collect, with over 800 total moons hidden throughout the game. Movement feels incredible with Mario's expanded moveset, including new acrobatic jumps and the ability to chain momentum for speedrunning. The kingdoms range from realistic cities like New Dog City to bizarre food-themed worlds and spooky ghost mansions. After beating the main story, the game opens up with harder moons that require serious platforming skills. The two-player co-op lets someone control Cappy independently, which completely changes how you approach challenges. Breath of the Wild opens with Link waking from a 100-year sleep to find Hyrule destroyed by Calamity Ganon, with Princess Zelda barely holding the beast inside Hyrule Castle. The game gives you complete freedom from the start. After a brief tutorial area, you can literally go fight Ganon immediately if you want, though you'll probably want to explore and get stronger first. The physics engine is the foundation of everything. Fire spreads naturally, metal conducts electricity, objects have weight and momentum, and all these systems interact logically. You can climb any surface as long as you have stamina, and the paraglider lets you soar from mountain peaks to distant locations. Combat involves weapon durability, which forces you to constantly adapt and use different gear rather than relying on one sword. The 4 divine beasts are massive dungeons that you can tackle in any order, each controlled by manipulating the dungeon itself, like tilting a giant mechanical elephant. Cooking combines ingredients for meals that restore health or provide resistance to environmental hazards like heat and cold. Shrines are bite-sized puzzle challenges scattered across the world that reward you with spirit orbs to upgrade health or stamina. And that's my top 15 best Nintendo Switch games of all time. What games would make your top 15? Drop your list in the comments. I'd love to see what you're all playing. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.